Now, just before you hear the episode, we wanted to let you know that My Therapist Ghosted Me has now been shortlisted for a National Comedy Award in the Best Comedy Podcast. It's actually thanks to you guys because you already voted for us and we are shortlisted. We're allowed to go. Also, Joanne has been shortlisted for the Best Comedy Breakthrough Award. So please, let's get voting for her. She totally deserves to win. We would also love to win Best Podcast. So we'd be really grateful if you would vote for us again. And you can do that at thenationalcomedyawards.com. And thank you so much for getting us this far already. Welcome to My Therapist Ghosted Me with me, Vogue Williams and Joanne McNally.
It's the podcast that works on the basis of not needing an intro, yet Joe insists on doing it every week. On this week's podcast, we have suggestible feminism, single woman spinach, and wedding etiquette.
You know what else? Like when people are like, she gets Botox about me. If I got Botox, there's not a hope in hell I'm going to start discussing it on the pod, because as soon as you do that, people are like, well, she doesn't really look like that. It's the Botox.
Well, sure, I admit that I have Botox and people put it in headlines about me.
Yeah, you see, I'm not interested in that. So you know what? I wouldn't, well, obviously I don't have it right now. Look at that. I wouldn't confirm it and I wouldn't deny it. Will I get it after the baby? Couldn't tell you. I'm not going to admit it. Ever. Even when I'm 9,000. Even when I'm a 9,000-year-old dinosaur and I look fucking great, I still won't admit it.
Taught like a gherkin. She's
Yeah.
like, none of your business. But yeah, I do find, because I am open about it, they put it in headlines. Joe McNally on Botox and baby. It's like, what? I just said I have Botox. Like, fucking everyone has Botox.
Look at that. I look like the first time I met you before the Botox. Remember? What did you call yourself?
Huh?
What you said about yourself?
That I look like I'd stepped in a George Foreman.
Yeah, that's what I look like right now. Look at that.
That video, that sketch that we did together in Republic Italy, that was the only one they let me write, or the only one that I wrote that they used.
Say they're kicking themselves now.
They're in their hell.
Well, actually, they're not on there, so.
Republic Italy was axed pretty much as soon as I joined. That sketch that I still really like was Say Yes to the Dress.
Funny. Yeah, it was very funny.
My forehead in that.
It's a cheese, Grady, you said.
It looks like someone's taken a fork to my face.
I know, that's what I look like right now. God.
Shut
I went
up.
for a facial today. Debbie Thomas, you go there.
I was in with Dr. Ewan on a Sunday. He's my new bestie. We've decided to be real friends, like in the real world.
Yeah, he looks quite sound, actually. I'd be into him.
And we get on really well. He's very funny, which of course I love.
You see,
I told my mum, I was like, I'm going to meet Dr. Ewan first. She goes, oh my God, amazing. I said, he's gay. She goes, oh, for God's sake. But he did this Revive thing on me, which is the new Profiterol.
you look like glossy.
Thank you.
Stop doing stuff like that when I'm pregnant. It's not fair. I look like a wicked old witch. Don't get anything else done until I'm not pregnant anymore. I'm going to get that. I'm not even going to be scared. I'm going to do it right after childbirth. So I'm like, actually, this feels like nothing. What's it called?
Which, the Profiterols?
No, the sore
The
one.
Morpheus.
Yeah.
I have to get on to Susan Vaughan about that Morpheus.
Don't do that without me.
Yeah, no, but we can't get it done at the same time anyway. She only has one machine. So,
I'd have to go first. I wouldn't be able to watch you in pain and then have to do it.
yeah, no, you go in separately.
Yeah.
And scream away like an asylum, and then I'd go in.
I scream away and then I'd come out looking gorgeous and you'd be like, I don't care how sore it is.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh my God, Vo's got a new head.
Your skin looks like silky, like a silk pillow.
It's Dr. Ewan.
Oh, I want to
And
be
it
friends
hasn't
with
even
him.
it hasn't even kicked in. It takes 4 or 5 days to properly kick in. Now it's pretty spicy. Like I looked like I'd had like a sexual facial. I was covered in goop.
Jizz.
Yeah, jizz.
Yeah.
As this kind of like numbing cream, and then it's like he injects hyaluronic acid into your face basically.
But that is Profilo.
No, but this is a more advanced Profilo. It's the new Profilo. That's what he said. It's called Revive. It's the new Profilo.
Just want the
But you're not lined though.
Are you insane? Look at my forehead.
You too little like you'd want to see me before. Like it was kind of weird how lined up because I'm very expressive.
You want to see how liney Spenny is now? God. He like, I've never seen somebody like deface their own face. Like,
what do you mean?
He had this like spot on his chin under his beard, and he like attacked it so much that like half of his chin is so swollen that you can noticeably see half it hanging down. And then I put it in his head that it might be an ingrown hair. Well, he came out with blood pumping out of his face, and I was like, what have you just done to yourself? He basically like slices it off. And I went into the bedroom today, and I actually sent him a text. I was like, this isn't acceptable to like, I'm not sharing a room with you. I went into the bedroom, there's lasagna all over the sheets, and then there was blood from his chin all over the sheets, in tissues in the toilet, in tissues in the bin. I'm like, dude, no one wants to clean that up or look at it. I was like, that's disgusting. Spen's gross, basically.
I think you need to put him in a cat bed out in the garden or like a kennel.
Like, honestly,
a shed. Build a little shed for Span now and just put him out there. He can pick away at his chin and eat his lasagna in peace.
Yeah, I was going to ask him to move into his mom's for a little while. I just can't bear it at the moment.
Like, I really need my space.
I'm pregnant and I can't take it. It's too disgusting for me.
I lived with lads before. The first house I was in, I lived with lads before, and like they're gross. Like, it's gross.
They're absolutely disgusting. I used to come home and my flatmate at the time would have just like, so he used to get a roast chicken to make stuff for himself for the week, and he'd pull the roast chicken apart with his hands and open all the cupboards. So then you'd go and grab a cupboard and just grease everywhere, and then there was like puke all over the toilet one day because obviously he'd been out that weekend and I'd been in Dublin.
I thought you were going to say I'd been visiting or something. Oh, please, how embarrassing. It's all in the past.
Oh my God. Puke on the floor. Oh God, no, I can't. Certain people's living conditions I can't accept.
Yeah, and men should be ridden and enjoyed and then put out the back.
I agree.
In the garden. No?
Yeah.
Too much?
No, I think that's right.
Ride, enjoy, out the back.
That's what I want.
Like a man flap, like a cat flap for a man. Just kick him out.
I might put that. Will I record myself saying that to Spenny later?
Go be gross in the garden.
Yeah. Go be disgusting. I'll record myself later. I'll say, Spen, I've been thinking about things, and I think that we can still have sex every night, but then you have to go and live in your mom's house.
Yeah, go down to the
see what he says.
Yeah.
Just go somewhere else, not here with your fucking... at least until your chin is healed.
Yeah, I've climaxed and I've rung an Uber. Thank you.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.
See you later.
I
don't like that word climaxed either.
What would you like? What you call? Well, you thought it was called goofing off, so I don't think you know what's
goofing off.
Going on.
I thought it was like frigging yourself.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I wouldn't.
You don't like climax?
No, I don't think so.
What you like?
Don't know. Well, I do like it. I just don't like the word.
Le petit mort. You're like, something's happening. I don't want to say anything about it. I don't want to identify what it is.
What is it? Help!
I'm going.
Do you ever find out weird things when you're younger? I was in a podcast for Boots today, and we were talking about like when you first like learn to masturbate when you're younger. Like you just kind of learn to do it.
She's masturbate mad.
I'm not.
This isn't going in the pod, but I'll tell you a funny story about me and a candle.
I'll tell you a funny story about me and a shower head. Oh, I'm sweating. I might have to take off my butter neck.
Gosh.
Okay, Joanne, tell me about your week. By the way, I nearly fell off the couch last night. Joanne texted me, she goes, I've updated the pod doc. And I was like, what? She's done fuck all. Watch this, girls. Watch. She'll have one line. Well, she'd fully updated the pod doc. I couldn't believe it.
I'm a new woman.
And I was kind of jealous. I was like, oh my God, no, I don't have all that stuff.
I was like, folks, very late updating the Google Doc.
You
okay, hon?
I was in NY, New York City.
Yeah, you talking about your week first, because I need to find mine. My week was so boring this week.
Well, I went to New York with Spen. I went back to Dublin first to do a DJ gig. Haven't DJed in ages. Absolutely loved it.
You mean you haven't pressed play on a cassette tape in ages?
But like, honestly, I had not touched a deck in 2.5 years, and I was like, what if I don't remember how to do it? Like, what do I... And
do you actually DJ?
Mix. Yeah, I actually mix.
Shut up.
I swear to God, I learned... But you know what the thing of it is? I got lessons off Dave, what's his name?
De Valera.
Yeah! Dave De Valera.
She's rubbing her head because he's bald, yeah. I know.
Dave De Valera gave me lessons years ago, and he's like, once you get the beat mix, like you'll get it. And it's so true. Once you get it, you get it. So yes, I do, and I find that offensive. I don't fade anymore. But so you can fade them in and out if you want. You go whoop, whoop, whoop,
I don't. I honestly, honest to God, in the interest of full transparency, assumed you stood there with an iPod.
No. I actually really enjoy it. I forgot how much I enjoyed it. And I was on a party with those Irish people, and everyone was just so sound. I hadn't seen them in ages.
Yeah, you're like Tiesto.
So yeah, I went to New York. Absolutely brilliant. Just Spencer and I We're not great on a city break together, I have to say.
Go on.
He was like trying to make New York this like amazing like experience for me, and I'm like, Spenny, do you know me at all? Like, we went to Gemma Cassidy told us somewhere to go and get tacos. I love a taco. It's the best tacos you'll ever had. We walked in fairness, it was like a shed. It was absolutely disgusting. Like, it was filthy. And we got the tacos, and Spenny was raging because we'd spent like ages going down here. I was thrilled. Nicest tacos ever. He was absolutely disgusted. He's not one to just walk around shops. I was 45 minutes in Foot Locker. I was enjoying myself, okay?
Yeah.
I was buying the kids' shoes, me shoes. I was having a great time in Foot Locker. He was not having a great time in Foot Locker. And then we got a cronut. Have you ever had one of them?
Not me, but I know isn't it kind of like a cake? It's like a hybrid of a cake and a donut and a croissant and something else.
A donut and a croissant.
It's too much for me.
Listen, it wasn't enough for me. I only got one. I was raging. Yeah, we're not great on city breaks either, but we did go to the CFDAs, which is this like big fashion award. I was really nervous of going because I don't really like going to those things because I feel like you get really judged. But like, in fairness, no one gave a shit about us there. Like, really, like, they barely give us a shit about us here. They really didn't give a shit about us there.
You're low rent here. You're very low rent there.
I'm not even on the rent scale over there.
You're not even on the ladder there.
No, nowhere near. But I went anyway, and I didn't care because nobody knew who I was or gave a shit who I was. I just stood at the side of the stairs and watched everybody come up and just stared everyone out of it. Emrata was there.
Who?
Emrata.
Who's that?
You know, you're one who was in the Robin Thicke video.
Are you talking about Emily Ratajkowski?
Yeah, they call her Emrata.
Oh.
Yeah, so she was there, right? And there was these two. One of them was a supermodel. And I could just hear them because I've then started earwigging on people's conversations. And they were like, oh my God, I love your work, Em. I love your... And I'm like, I love your work. What does she do?
She does a lot. Now, I
know she's a model.
Yeah.
And her body is like...
Yeah, it's out of control.
Her body was just like, I felt sorry for myself.
Yeah. There's not many people that can make you look out of shape, but she makes you look like a cronut.
Oh, everybody there, I looked like a big fat dumpling compared to them. Like, I couldn't believe the skinniness.
Yeah.
Because you see them on telly, like Zendaya was there and like, just like a whippet.
I have a problem. I could find your one, Emily Ratajkowski, slightly problematic, to use the term that I don't like using, but I'm going to use it. I find her ideas about feminism confusing.
I agree.
I don't think getting your tits out and being in a Robin Thicke song saying you want it is feminist. And at the time she said it was. And then, do you remember she did a video, she was wriggling around in a bikini in linguini?
No.
And she called that feminist. I'm like, I don't think that's feminist. I think feminism is like a collective thing. It's not an individual woman in a bikini riding a lasagna.
Yeah,
I just don't find it feminist. I don't find being attractive to men or attracting men feminist. I don't find it feminist. I'm not buying your feminist. Also, just to finish, I don't think everything everything she does, she says it's feminist to suit herself. But not everything she does has to be feminist. It doesn't have to be. Like, not everything I do is feminist. Half the shit I do sets feminism back 20 years.
She's a bit hypocritical. Oh, I said it.
She uses it to justify bikini shit by saying it's empowering.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but like, I kind of agree with you.
She kind of just taps into the zeitgeist of whatever the vibe is at the time. But in saying that, I'm sure she sounds lovely girl. I'd kill for her breasts.
On her body and her tummy.
And her everything. I'd kill to look like her. I would skin her alive and wear her as a suit if I ever met her.
I know. And
I'd call that feminist. I'd be like, this was an empowering murder.
Yeah.
I murdered a woman for her body. I'm calling it feminism.
Oh God, yeah. I don't really get her either. But she's a book to sell.
Well, this is it. So now she was saying that before, she was saying getting naked and all that and being like objectified and everything was her empowering herself and being feminist. Now the book, I think it's called My Body, and it's all about how that wasn't the case at the time. So I think she's just kind of...
She kind of just changes her mind on things as it goes on and as it suits her.
But Emily, if you're listening to the pod, we are huge fans.
We are huge fans, and
good luck with the book.
And we love your work.
Love your work.
Did you get your brows done as well?
No.
Sorry. Fuck you, it's just your glow up. I met Anna Wintour as well. When I say I met her, like, I walked by her and she was quite pleasant to us. It was only about a 15...
Oh my God, this was a high-flying party.
Oh, I mean, I was like the shit on their shoes, but I was thrilled about it.
Of course.
Our table was the worst table there.
Yeah.
Like, way at the back. Food was desperate. And for somebody who has just completely gone off fish during pregnancy. Like, it was this shitty salad. You would have liked it. It looked really like it had been sitting there for hours.
Perfect.
And then, like, fish, I was like, get me out of here. I was so jet lagged, but it was quite fun. And Spenny was there with his drinks brand, so it did quite well. And I fancy Tom. Like, I want to be a gay man so badly.
You're not far off.
I know, but I always have gay man vibes. But Tom Ford, fuck me. He's my number one.
Who
now.
is Tom Ford?
Oh.
Perfume? Designer?
Perfume, designer, sunglasses, director. Oh, I'm going to show you a picture of him. I'm even buying his sunglasses, the ones that he wears all the time, because I might get Spenny to wear them in bed. Just saying. Where do you see him?
Put on the glasses, Spencer.
Put on the glasses, Spencer.
Tom Ford.
Tom Ford, just show me a picture of him. All of his products will come up. Like, yes, please.
Oh my God.
Beautiful.
That's, yeah.
I'll show you how good he looked at the CFDAs though. Wait till you see.
I know you don't like saying I came, so I'm just going to call it I went. I just went there.
Yeah, I went. God, he's
We're going to swap up the lingo to suit Vogue. Oh my God.
Look at him.
Totally just went.
And he wears his sunnies. Oh, I just can't get enough of him. And if you watched, there's a couple of his movies. They are so unbelievable.
Is he petite?
He's not as tall as I would have liked him
Yeah.
to be. I'm too tall. Can't wait. That's the only thing I'm looking forward to about getting old, getting small. Might start
And
hunching.
shrinking, yeah.
I used to hunch a lot in pictures because when I get pictures of people, I'd kind of hunch over so I didn't look like such a giant man. And now I don't do it anymore because it makes it look really bad.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't. You should have good posture.
What else did we do this week? I've set up for Christmas at home. Wait till you get there. Christmas decks are up.
Really?
Most of them, not our tree. I'm waiting on the tree. It hasn't come yet. Spenny and I went running in the park the other day and we had a massive public fight in the park. It was actually so embarrassing.
Was it a boxing thing or was it you shadow boxed him and then he just like ran into your face?
He told me to go home because I was running so crappily because like he tried to have a full-blown like serious conversation with me about something when I was trying to run when it's really hard and I'm pregnant. He's like, if you can't run when you're pregnant, just go home. And I was like, well, fuck you. And I just ran the other way and we ran in different directions.
That's marriage though.
And Winnie, that little wanker, Winnie, who I brought home from Australia, that dog, right, tried to follow Spencer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's not the first time that's happened.
That is very funny.
It won't be funny for Winnie when he ends up, you know where?
In the freezer.
In the freezer.
A little Winnie genocide. Why not?
Oh, and one thing I wanted to do a call out for the pod. Please, everybody, stop mailing me those videos of Travis and Courtney. I can't bear it anymore. They absolutely revolt me.
Yeah, it was really scarlet. Was it his birthday or her birthday? And she's dry riding him in front of everyone else. But it's a game now. It's like a thing. It's a stunt.
I think it's because he reminds me of a creature that I don't.
I fancy him.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I honestly, I couldn't fancy him less.
But I'm like a dog in heat at the moment.
I usually am, but no, not for Travis Barker. No way.
Well, I had to check my privilege at the weekend. Again, I've started just throwing these terms in. I'm not quite sure what they mean. So basically, I was up filming The Weakest Link in Glasgow.
Yeah.
And you know the way when you do telly and stuff, they put you first class.
Yeah.
On trains and all that jazz.
I love a first class train.
So I went on, had the ticket, walked in, all the way up to the first class, assuming I was on first class, sat down.
Yes.
Sat down like a little privileged bitch, like a little spoilt brat. Your man with the ticket comes along.
No.
Tickets, please. I panted on my ticket. I was like, where's the wine? Yeah, they give you wine. And he was like, you're not first class. I was like, excuse me? He's like, you're standard. I was like, I beg your pardon? He's like, you're standard. You need to leave. You need to leave. He fucking kicked me out.
Yeah.
To go down
I just paid 200 quid or something.
My tail between my legs, humiliated, down with the peasants in the back, which I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, when I pay for my own travel, I literally pay £1 to get driven around England in a wheelie bin. Like, I won't pay a fucking penny for my own travel. But when it's the telly, I'm like, I'm first class.
You were in, the whole way to Glasgow for 7 hours.
Yeah.
Why didn't they fly you?
I flew up, very nice, very nice. Down in the boot of a train.
That's not.
But for days, I was on that train for. It was like the Orient Express. I was like, someone's going to get murdered on this thing. I was on it for days.
Oh
anyway,
God!
I realised I was like, oh, I'm getting telly spoilt. I'm getting telly spoilt.
Sorry, but that's fair enough. Come on, they dragged you up there. They got what they wanted, and then they flung you back. Yeah, that's what happened. Doesn't matter
Totally.
now. Chuck her in the back.
Totally. You know the way I like, I mean, this is how slow my week was, but you know the way I like to raise awareness for issues that are close to my heart?
For women eating alone.
Well, yeah. But no, I don't like to raise awareness for the big sexy issues like climate change and the refugees because they're kind of being taken care of.
They're covered.
So I was going for smaller ones. So my agenda this week was, what? Have you seen the size of the bags of spinach in Aldi?
No.
This is how bored I was this week. I was getting really worked up about the size of the bags of spinach. Like, who decided that we wanted to get served bags of spinach in the size of a pillowcase? As a single, it's such a waste. I have to fucking smoke the shit to get rid of it.
But Joanne, once you cook spinach, it really goes down. You're
just-
putting in a wet salad.
I just think I would like to petition for a single woman spinach size.
You're going to have to start shopping at Marks and Spencer's. Okay? They have a few sizes there.
It reminds me of. It reminds you. Do you remember in Shawshank Redemption when your man Andy Dufresne was digging through he was digging through a wall and he kept having to shake the gravel out of his leg of his pants. I was like, it's like someone in Aldi's trying to burst out of a spinach prison. They just keep fucking having to get rid of all this spinach. The bag is the size. You could fill a cement mixer with it.
I know the bag you're talking about.
It's outrageous.
Yeah, but
and it only lasts for 3 minutes.
Yeah, put it in a pan, bit of garlic, and it will wilt down to nothing. You'll be actually giving out about the lack of spinach in your bag.
That was exciting. Oh, Dennis is dead.
Oh, Dennis died.
Dennis is dead. And I'm only saying it because the press in Ireland have just picked it up. Congratulating me. RSVP did this really cute thing. They're like, we're so happy for her. Dennis is dead. He was killed in a skiing accident. So I'm back in the apps.
Back in the apps?
Look, life comes at you fast.
Are you back in the apps?
Back in
oh
the
my
apps.
God, please can you and Amber just go out?
I know.
You have to.
What do you mean together?
Well, I know she's a lesbian and
You're
you're
not
not.
straight.
Sorry, lesbians and straighties go to the same place.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant like, would we hook up?
No?
Oh.
Oh my God, I couldn't think of anything worse. That would
Sorry.
really derail me, I think.
Oh yeah, I'm back in the apps. Do you know what though? It's I forgot how much fun the apps were because
Tell me about them.
we're gonna go. You can have a go on mine.
I'd love to have a go.
I'm going to
on
start
yours.
putting in, this is what I'm going to start doing because I've realised how fun dating is. But then I was like, maybe I shouldn't talk about men on the podcast as much because, and then I was like, of course I'm going to fucking talk about men.
Yeah, it's great content. Don't stop.
I know, it's one of my favourite things. So I'm going to start putting in like a 5-hour shift every week on the apps.
I think you need
Treat
to
it like
do
a job.
that.
Treat it like a job. Just get dates, content.
I think a couple of dates a week.
I work every night.
Just go for a coffee or something.
A coffee.
Well, what do you want? What do you want then?
Well, I'm going to go for a spinning class on a date.
What, are you
going
going to bring them to one of your gigs? You wouldn't dream of doing
I
that.
wouldn't do that. No. Meet them for a drink after, maybe. Do you know what I've realised? You can tell a lot about my mental health by the girth of my face.
I think that you just think your face gets bigger.
My face gets bigger if I've been drinking heavily, which means I'm mentally unwell. And then when I drink less, my face shrinks again. So it's a good way of telling if I'm deranged or not.
You need to start contouring.
The size of my head. I don't know how to contour. I can't even get my neck.
Oh,
Most
my
people are like,
God.
oh, my neck should be the same colour as my face. I don't even have that luxury. I've never once been able to match my face to my neck.
I just think I'll teach
I
you
look
how to
Latino
contour.
from the chin up.
Bit of instant tan, just on the neck. My topic that I wanted to talk about this week was wedding etiquette, right? Kendall Jenner, an absolute ride of a babe, like so gorgeous. I fucking hate to be friends with her. I'd have to invite her to my wedding. Which is fine. Did you see that outfit she wore to one of her friends' weddings?
Yeah.
It was outrageous. She basically had these two triangles over her tits, and it was just like a completely naked outfit.
Yeah, it was like she just wrapped her tits in masking tape and headed to the wedding, basically.
Yeah, and it's like I would have rather she'd showed up in a floor-length lace gown, white, than come along in that. And it got me thinking about wedding etiquette and weddings that I've been to that were really annoying. Like the table you're put at a wedding says a lot about you. John. I hope he's listening to this. I used to conceal the fact that it was John. But my friend John, when I was pregnant with... God, was it Theodore? It must have been Theodore. I was pregnant with Theodore and he dumped me at this table full of pregnant people. And I just thought, you fucking arsehole. I'm at the pregnant people table. I know I was pregnant, but all of our friends were off having a ball down at some other table and I was stuck at a table full of pregnant people I didn't even know.
Yeah, but that's very clearly going, this is the no crack table. Do you know what I mean? It's like, let everyone over there just have no crack. He was also probably saying, look, this is the sober table. Do you know what I mean?
Bullshit.
Let them all just like breastfeed and whatever it is you pregnant people do.
No, it's bullshit.
Lactate.
And then Spenny asked somebody
do your
when she...
Kegels. Just do your Kegels in the corner with the rest of the gals.
I sat and I did my Kegels the entire time. Spenny asked a girl there then, she was when was she due? She'd had the baby a month prior.
Oh, no.
I know. It was a really bad time. A bad time at that wedding. And that was when Spenny was still drinking as well. So I had to drag him home. Not only was I at the pregnant table, Spenny just kept fucking off to all the tables that were actually crack. And I was stuck at the pregnant people table with the pregnant people.
No, that's...
just spent my whole night weeing.
My take on it now, my strategy is, even if a woman looks like she's about to burst, until I see like her crowning, until I literally see a leg coming out of her, like a head, I say absolutely nothing. I say nothing.
Imagine
I've seen it in comedy clubs. I've seen it happen a million times. When are you due? I'm not due. I'm not pregnant. There's no pulling the gig back. I've seen it happen. Hasn't happened to me, thank God.
But
Touch wood.
You cannot come back from that.
No.
There's literally no coming back. It's calling somebody fat to their face.
Yeah. But at least that woman had a baby. I know a friend of mine who did it to a girl who was never pregnant at all.
Oh, Jesus, which friend?
Oh, no, you don't know them. It was years ago.
But other things, right? My aunt wore a white wedding dress to my wedding.
Is that really a big faux pas, though?
I didn't really care, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't
She
care.
wore white to my wedding. She felt good. I didn't mind.
Like, I know that they say, I think a bride who wants everyone else to be uglier than her on her wedding day, it's a bit weird. Also, the Kendall Jenner thing, they're all so hot. It doesn't matter. It's not like Kendall Jenner was going to a wedding in Howth.
The mate. Excuse me? You're trying to say people in Howth aren't hot?
All the gargoyles and Howth. But you know what I mean? Like, the standard is so high at those weddings. It doesn't matter. You can't possibly outshine. Who's getting married? It was Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton got married, wasn't it?
Paris Hilton, and she's barely posted a picture of her new fella. He looks like so boring, though, to be fair.
Sorry, she captioned that photo, "Forever starts now," and I was like, I had a real problem with that. A, you're 40, babes, okay? Forever doesn't start now. You only got about 30 years left. And also, why were you suggesting that getting married is the start of you forever? Like, it's so pathetic. What is this, the 1930s?
Listen, you're looking at a girl who had a 3-day celebration that couldn't stop with the wedding celebrations. Her boyfriend, who is he? He looks really boring.
It's loaded.
I heard that he has a secret daughter that he never sees.
Really? I think
allegedly.
I'm a secret daughter. My father never sees me. I respect that.
Yeah.
I don't really care about that shit.
But you see, I kind of would if I was going to marry somebody. But I did like her wedding dress. But I also liked that she barely put him in any pictures.
And just herself.
Just herself, looking absolutely fab. To be fair.
Yeah, I don't know. The forever thing starts. The forever
I
starts.
couldn't be arsed with weddings. So I don't want to be. If you're too high on numbers, cut me.
Yeah.
I'll happily be cut. I don't really mind. But there are other things, right? I don't like when people ask for certain gifts. I know that there's a registry kind of vibe. What are you asking for, Joe?
Donations to charity.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, what a load of bollocks.
He's not. Don't mind him.
I feel like when you go to a wedding, it's
You need to ask for money for clothes, Joe. That's what you need to do. You need to ask for vouchers for Zara Man.
Oh my God, he's wearing a t-shirt from The Darkness. I believe in a thing called love.
Do you remember when I don't know how the Ramones ended up. Do you remember all these girls wearing t-shirts, the Ramones t-shirt from Topshop?
Hello,
thinking it was like the new Prada. Like, as if you've ever heard the Ramones. Like, I was the same. I was like, oh my God, Ramones, fucking love them.
Oh,
They're like the new Adidas. Just love the Ramones.
I loved all of them. Here are some things, right, that you actually have to do at weddings. Oh, my sister said speeches being too long, shite food. Those kind of things are crap at a wedding as well. But I would say that, like, especially for an Irish wedding, you kind of give 100 quid.
Standard.
Yeah. Per head, I reckon. So you're kind of paying for your dinner.
I'd say I'm very behind on wedding presents. But then I justified as like, at this stage, I'm more likely to choke to death in a baby bell than get married. So why am I continually investing in everyone else's marriages?
And they're so expensive. If you've paid to go, I think that's enough.
Exactly.
And I mean, I'm getting married all the time. I can't keep expecting of
You're
people.
You're getting nothing the next time now, I can tell you.
No, go on, I'll barely get you to if I get married the next time, I'll do it over Zoom, so no one has to spend a penny.
Like, I reckon I would just elope.
Oh, it's way better.
Yeah.
Because then you save money, spend it on a house. Because I've had a really expensive wedding, and then I've had a wedding that didn't cost very much. And I much preferred the wedding that didn't cost very much.
Yeah.
But these are rules, right? Or SVP by the date requested. That wouldn't suit us, Joanne, because we like to cancel. I cancelled on my brother's wedding.
Did you?
Listen, you would too. I got offered a show at Bear Grylls. I wasn't going to his wedding.
Yeah, no,
and then my brother cancelled on my wedding, and he made a joke like, "Oh, I'll go to the next one," and he did go to the next one.
That's the thing. You're like, folks' wedding, they're all going to come. It'll come around again. It's like me and the Apollo. They're like, it'll come around next year. You can go to another one. Perfect.
I actually feel like having another one. Oh my God. At our wedding, our E4 wedding, remember, you went to it.
Yeah.
That was good crack, actually.
It was.
I was told that I had breached someone's human rights because they didn't get fed at the wedding.
Take that to Strasbourg. Imagine bringing the human right. There's like a woman there who wants to get an abortion from incest, and there's someone else going, well, I didn't get enough profiteroles at a wedding. That's not your human right.
Did you see the amount of food at the wedding? Oh my God. And plus, P.S., we're in the middle of London. There's a thing called Deliveroo. I didn't breach anyone's human rights. Don't assume you get to bring a date. I'm very worried.
I don't agree with that now. Inviting someone on your own to a wedding, that's like,
Joanne, there's very limited numbers.
nah.
There's people I already have to kind of like blur out of my wedding pictures.
I know.
Because they're not there anymore.
I read a tip. Put the boyfriends and partners on the edge of the photo.
Yeah, well, it's too fucking late
I know
for me.
it's too late for you, I know.
Have you seen that picture of my bathroom?
But Joe, this is a good one for you. Put the people in the family photos, put the boyfriends and girlfriends that you don't think are going to last, put them on the edge, and then you can just cut them out.
And the shit table. Put the shit table people there too, because let's be honest, you won't be friends with them. Stick to your RSVP response. That would never happen with us. Never bail.
I've bailed on a couple of weddings.
I'd bail. I don't give a shit. Don't show up early. That would be an issue for me. I'm always early. Don't be late. And always give a gift. Give a gift of cash. 100 quid in a card, done.
I'm very behind on the gifts. I just think at this stage, I kind of know I won't get married. I'm like, why would I marry and make some single lad's life miserable when I can date and make loads of men's life miserable?
You, listen, I think that you'll be surprised.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I definitely think you're going to have kids.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I just have a feeling about it.
Julie Cooper says the key to a long marriage is having drinking in separate pubs, which I thought was a great tip. Have different locals. Joe, Joe, this is all for you, man. You're getting married. Yeah.
And get them to live outside.
In the garden. Here's a great quote I read on marriage. Well, it's not really marriage. This guy, Samuel Richardson. This is my approach. This has been my experience when it comes to like relationships and men and all that jazz. Love gratified is love satisfied, and love satisfied is indifference begun.
Oh, yeah.
They lose interest. Once you get them, they lose interest.
I think that you really have to keep separate lives as well. Not completely separate lives, but like, I'm going out for dinner with my friends tonight on my own. Like, I want to do stuff on my own with my own friends and have my own shit going on. I did read this thing. How long would you be in a relationship for before you'd be like, well, if you don't propose, I'm out?
A month.
Yeah, fair enough. Me
I'm
too.
very...
No, I'm about 6 to 8 weeks.
Very intense.
This woman sued her fella because he didn't propose after 10 years.
What do you mean sued him?
Sued him for time wasting.
Shut up.
Yeah.
You've just reminded me, a girl I know, this guy kind of fucked around and she monzoed him a request for £100 for wasting her time.
Stop.
Yeah, she was demanding £100 off him. She's like, for wasting my time.
I can't stand that bullshit though, people wasting your time. Think of the amount of time that you've done that to people as well.
I know.
I've never ghosted anyone, but you've ghosted people.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened to my first wedding? I slipped on a bag.
Of cocaine.
No, Joanne, it was a plastic bag that I'd been storing my toiletries, and I slipped and I fell and landed on my face and my wrists. So I had these black wrists. Woke up the next day and my lip was like dead. It looked great, to be honest. If it wasn't so purple, it would have been great, but it was like down around my chin. And I got actually my makeup artist friend, she's actually one of my best friends. She came in and she just looked at me and I knew by her face, I was like, oh no, this is not good. She had to go buy tattoo makeup and everything. Like it was pretty bad.
Wow.
Pretty bad.
Did people assume you were getting beaten?
No, I told them I slipped on a bag of cocaine. What are they doing out there?
Dancing?
I don't know. I don't feel like I'd work well in an office environment.
Yeah, no.
I feel like, not that I'd fight with people, I feel like people would really just fuck me off.
Another thing I did this week, people send me pod recommendations. I do love a podcast.
You do love a podcast. She won't listen to ours, but she'll listen to everybody else's.
Well, I'd rather listen to a podcast than listen to my own thoughts, so it kind of keeps me busy.
Fair.
But there was someone recommended, I can't remember who recommended, anyway, thanks, called Sweet Bobby.
Yeah.
which is, I mean, have you heard about this, Joe?
Oh,
my
that's what the podcast is called?
Yeah, Sweet Bobby. It is quite the journey. I won't give any massive spoilers, but it's about this woman who was basically catfished for 10 years.
Oh, no.
I know, but at the same time, I'm like, you're listening to it and you're like, come on.
Oh, no.
He never turned on his camera for 10 years. Anyway, it's absolutely fascinating. It's a really good listen, and there's loads of twists and turns in it and stuff. But it got me thinking about catfishing, and I actually did a shout out for catfishing, and weirdly didn't get as many replies as I thought, which I guess is a good thing.
I feel like people catfish themselves all the time, though.
Well, you see, the term catfishing has kind of evolved and changed. Catfishing is actually when someone uses fake photos to lure you in, whereas people now use catfishing to say, like, oh, he wasn't as hot as I'd hoped. Like, my housemate Sophie went on a date with a lad and she was like, I was catfished. I was like, why? And she was like, he had shit teeth. I was like, that's not catfishing.
That's
just having shit teeth.
Yeah.
You know?
But I kind of see catfishing as like, when you see somebody in real life and you're like, oh my God, that's not what you look like on Instagram.
I know, but that's not catfishing. That's what I do, just using headshots and stuff. I think I told this story before in the pod, did I, Joe? Where a guy messaged me, he's like, I'm just letting you know someone's using your photos on Tinder. And I was like, oh my God, thanks so much for letting me know. It was me, it was my account. I was like, I'll call the police at once.
I'm not on Tinder.
It's on Tinder. I forgot to turn it off when I went back to Ireland. But do you remember, I used to watch that show Catfishing. I loved it. Catfish. But you're like, how thick are you? Okay. Like, you live in your mother's basement. On the hotness scale, you're a 2, and you think you're in a long-term relationship
I know.
with some girl who's modelling for Teen Cosmo, who's like a 12 on the hotness scale, and you're paying all her phone bill. Like, how thick we need to be a bit self-aware. Just be a little bit self-aware.
I know, you got to know your box. You know your level.
Know your box.
I knew my box at the CFDAs and there was no box for me.
Yeah, you were in the boot. You were in the boot of the CFDAs. But Clodagh always, our friend Clodagh told me, it was a great story again. This guy she matched with, like, super hot.
Yeah.
But the way he wrote was like, hey, hon, you up? And all this. And he looked really Brazilian. She was like, this just doesn't add up. Anyway, she reverse searched the photo, and of course it was some like Brazilian model and stuff. But the funny thing is, I was reading all these things about catfishing, and the weird thing is when they turn up.
I know.
And you're like, who are you? One story, she was so funny. She emailed him saying that this guy, he was really hot in his photos, really ripped, all that stuff, turned up, wasn't at all the same person, and tried to pretend that lockdown had, like, he just hadn't been able to go to the gym.
Oh no.
And lockdown had meant he hadn't been able to go to the gym and lost all his hair. And she was like, the lie.
Oh,
the size of the lie.
But you know what else, though, what makes me like it? But if they turn up and they're absolutely in bits, but you kind of fell in love with their personality anyway. So, like, does it matter if they're in bits physically? That's what I worry about the apps, because you wouldn't, you could be like swiping away from somebody who could actually be really sad and you'd be really wanting to be with, like, because I would not have swiped for Spencer.
No, I would not have swiped for any of my boyfriends.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. I really wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I know, that's the thing with the apps. There's no chemistry. There's no chemistry there.
And it's hard to text people. Everything gets misconstrued in text and all that kind of crap.
And like, they're just all wearing these weird wraparound Oakley glasses and... I know. And men can't take selfies. They just can't.
I wouldn't be able to go out with somebody who wore the Oakley glasses that you're talking about.
You know, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know those glasses. I just couldn't, because I know what that kind of person's like.
I know. Well, they all. I haven't met a single straight man who knows how to pick a sunglass to suit his head.
Oh, Spenny's good at sunnies.
Nope, seen him.
Excuse me?
I've seen him.
He does have these, like, he has these sunnies that, like, really look like you'd be scared to have them outside kids' schools. We spoke about it. And it's just not.
The pedo Pradas.
The pedo Pradas, yeah. Not great. That's what reminded me of my sunglasses that you've defo lost.
Vogue, I was going to talk about this with you after. I do not have those glasses. I'm telling you now, my room is not that big. I do not have those glasses.
The case is there, the glasses are not.
I wore them for the walk around the park.
Very careful with sunglasses. They're going to show up in your room beside the mushrooms.
I fucking hope they do show up in my room, because I hope to God they're not lost. Oh yeah, the catfish show. This is the other thing. They're so thick. They'd arranged to meet and then...
Thick as shy.
Thick. And then the person they were meeting, it was always really dramatic. They suddenly got diagnosed with cancer, or they were suddenly in a car crash, or someone had died, or they'd been abducted. And these people are still going, all right, okay, fair enough, let's just reschedule.
I feel like that. I for some reason, I don't think it happens as much over here.
Did you watch 90 Day Fiancé?
I've only watched a few of them, right? And the guy, the one guy, he was like kind of the main guy, and he was raging because your one hadn't like shaved her legs. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
like you're not like stunning yourself.
And he was giving her toothpaste and all. Do you know that I got him on Cameo to wish my housemate Sophie a happy Christmas? And it was one of the best things. Best
How
80
much?
quid.
How much?
Best 80 quid I've ever spent. I made up this story about her falling in love with the man in Bali. It was total bollocks. And he read it all out and everything. And he was like, he was riding a little horse and everything was brilliant.
Oh my God.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I never watched that whole thing. That's one to watch, actually, the 90 Day
90
Fiancé. But
Fiancé.
imagine getting yourself involved in some shit like that.
Have I ever been involved? No.
I nearly did Celebs Go Dating years ago, and they have a lot of money to
Yeah.
be giving people.
Really?
Like a shitload of money.
Yeah.
Loads. But you just like, the shite you'd have to go out with. I couldn't.
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't.
Imagine having to go out with normal people. Blech. I love the normals. That's what I love. That's my problem. I don't want anyone in show business. Or else I want top drawer show business.
Yeah, but yeah.
I think I'm going to go showbiz next.
Showbiz. Let me
Yeah.
think of somebody who's free. Who is free?
I think I'm going to go full-blown showbiz relationship.
Bradley Cooper, although
Top drawer. Not
top
bad.
drawer, I did see him linking arms with your one Arena Shake, and you'd like just
Pete Davidson.
yeah, Pete Davidson. I want to have a go, Pete Davidson.
riding
Everyone's
everything.
having a go at him.
Yeah, I'll throw myself in the mix.
Yeah, why not? We could share him when he comes over to London. Grand.
We're not sharing him.
You can have him Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll have him Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday because I'm busy at the weekends.
Yeah.
You
I'm
can
working
have
in
him the
evenings.
weekends.
I'll have him for the mornings. Morning
Okay,
rides.
grand.
Morning rides
Perfect.
with Steve. Pete. What's his name?
Pete.
I love him, whoever he is.
That's it for this week. Remember, if you'd like to send us an email, you're more than welcome to. Just send it to hello@mtgmpod.com.
Oh, shit! I'm on tour in Ireland next year and we've just added 10 extra Vicar Streets because you were asking me for Dublin dates, so we've given them to you, and if you don't fucking turn up... No, I'm kidding. Come.